and welcome to 10 minutes learning from EduCounts. In this video we're going to learn how do you solve an equation by using the properties of the exponent. In the previous video we have learned about the rules of exponents and how to apply them. So right now we need to understand how they would be used in solving an equation. So let's get started. First question here, it says that you have 4 raised to x over 2 times by 4 raised to x over 5, and this would be equal 14. So the key point for solving an equation like this is thinking about the base. So since we have here on the left hand side all the bases are the same, and we have to the right side the same base as well, that makes our question easier since we have here all the numbers are the same, which is 4 4 4. So I'm gonna simplify the left hand side by using one of the properties, which is the product rule. So once you use a product rule, one of the properties of the exponent, I need to write just only 1 4 and then add the exponents together. So I'm going to add here x over 2 plus x over 5. This would be equal 4 raised to 14. So what is the next step? The next step is how do you find the sum of x over 2 plus x over 5? Since we have here two different denominators, so we can simply make the same common denominator by multiplying x over 2 by 5 up and down. Okay, and then uh, let's try to find this first. So 5 over 5 like this. So we need to multiply this fraction by 5 over 5 since we are multiplying it's the same as multiplying by 1. So this would be 5 over 5x over 10. So and for the second one, which is x over 5, so x over 5 here, we need to multiply it up and down by 2. So we need to multiply up and down by 2 here to make the to have the same denominator, which is 10, and then we have here 2x. So right now we can find the sum of the exponents. So 4 is the base, and to find the sum of the exponents, I'm going to replace x over 2 by 5 over 5x over 10 like this, then plus here 2x over 10. So this would be equal 4, and once we have the same denominator, so I'm going to write the same denominator and add the denominators together. 5x plus 2x, so this would be equal 7x, and this would be equal 4 here, 8 raised to 14. So what is the upcoming step? The upcoming step, it says that once we have here the same denominator 4 and 4, okay, and we have the two sides equal each other, so that means our base it might be 0, and obviously here it's not 0, or the exponents are the same. So I'm gonna use the second option, which is the exponents would be the same. So this would be equal 7x over 10 is equal 14. So you can put one here before or below the 14 to make it looks like a fraction, and then you can use the property of cross multiplication. So if we use the cross multiplication, this would be 7x times by 1, which is equal 7x, and then 10 times by 14 is 140. Finally, we need to divide by 7 here, so this would be equal x is equal 20, and you are done. And this question looks like the previous one. We still have here the same base 2 and multiplied by the same base, which is 2, and this is equal to raised to the power 25. So what property of the exponent properties we will use here? Well, I'm going to use the product rule. So this would be the product rule as well, the product rule, since we have here two terms multiplied together and they have the same basis, so we can write one base and then add the exponents together. So the first exponent is 2x plus 2, and then we need to add this to the second exponent, which is 3x. This is plus 3x minus 7. So this must be equal to 2 raised to the power of 25. So how do you add the algebraic expressions together? We need to add the like terms like 3x and 2x together first. So this would be equal 5x. So here we have 5x, and then we have 2 and negative 7, which is equal negative 5. So we can simply rewrite this by seeing that we have the same base here too, and our exponent right now is 5x minus 5, and this is leads to equal 2 raised to the power 25. I'm going to use the same property since we have here the same basis, 2 and 2, so the exponents must be the same since the bases are not zeros. So I'm going to say here 5x minus 5 would be equal 25. And this is a two steps equation. We can solve it easily by adding 5 to the right hand side. So this would be 5x would be equal 30, and then we need to divide by 5 like this. So your x would be equal 6, and you are done. In this question here we have 8 raised to x over 2 and 4 raised to x over 3, and this is would be equal to raised to negative 5 over 2. If we look at the question carefully, we can notice that here the upper part has a base as 8 and the lower part has a base as 4, and the right hand side its base is equal to. So as I mentioned before, we need to try as much as we can to make all the bases the same. So how do we write the all the bases are the same? Since we have here the smallest base is 2, so I'm going to try to write 4 as a base of 2 raised to a specific power, and the same 8. So 8 could be written like this: 2 times by 2 times by 2, which is exactly the same as 2 raised to the power of 3. And for 4, we can write 4 2 times by 2, which is the same as 2 raised to the power of 2. So I can replace 8 by 2 raised to the power of 3, and I can replace 4 raised by 2 raised to the power of 2. So I'm going to do this here right now. So the upper part would be something like this: 2 raised to the power of 3, and then we have 4, which is 2 raised to the power of 2. But don't forget that each one before has or has another exponent, which is here x over 2, and here is we have the exponent is x over 3. That's it. Okay, so we can simply right now notice that left hand side and the right hand side have the same basis, which is 2 5 over 2 here. Okay, so what is the upcoming step? The upcoming step is applying one of the rules of the exponents, which is power raised to the power. Once if we have power raised to the power, we need to multiply this together. So I'm going to multiply here times by x over 2, which is equal 3x over 2. On the other hand, we can multiply 2 by x over 3. So this is 2 times by x over 3, which is the same as 2x over 3. So what is the upcoming step? I'm gonna write my expression like this here: 2 raised to 3x over 2, and then the lower part would be 2 raised to x over 3. This would be equal to raised to negative 5 over 2. So, and then I'm going to apply the quotient rule, but which says that if we have the same base here and we are dividing exponent expression, so we can write one of the bases, which is 2, and then we can subtract the exponents together. So I'm going to subtract here right now 3x over 2 minus 2x over 3. Since we don't have here the same denominator, so we cannot keep going and do the process of subtraction. So I'm gonna here try to find the difference first. I'm going to find the difference between 2x, 3x over 2 minus 2x over 3. We can simply multiply this part up and down by 3 here, and we can simply multiply here this part up and down by 2 to have the same denominator. So this denominator would be equal 6. On the other hand, the denominator would be equal 6, and then this would be equal 9x, and that one would be equal to x 4x, sorry. So now we can subtract directly. So we have the same denominator and subtract 9x minus 4x, which is equal 5x. So I'm going to replace this by writing 2 raised to 5x over 6. This would be equal 2 raised to negative 5 over 2. And since we have the same basis, I'm going to say that we should have the exponents are the same. So I can write an equation right now, which says that 5x over 6 must be equal negative 5 over 2. And we can simply multiply here the two sides by 6. I can multiply here by 6. I can multiply here by 6 to eliminate the 6, and multiply here by 6. Okay, but since 6 is divisible by 2, we can makes our equation easier, and we can keep simplifying the equation. So How do simplify this? By eliminating the sixes together. So this would be 5x right now to left hand side. How about this one? This one would be equal here 6 divided by 2, which is equal 3, and 3 times by negative 5 would be equal negative 15. And then we need to divide the two sides by 5 like that. So your x would be equal negative 3, and you are done.